Welcome all sports fans, YouTubers, Facebookers, all social media across the nation. Uneducated Network presents Uneducated Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Carlos Clayton. Today we have big news in the NFL. But first, before we start talking about that, please subscribe right now to Uneducated Network. Subscribe to it right now, ASAP, to where you can see my show and you see all the shows. We have a football show, so you're thinking of sports. We have a baseball show based on balls. Of course, we have my show. We have a basketball show, In the Paint with Red. Check that out for tonight. That'll be probably popping on some Sunday night around 10:30, 11. Who knows? It might be uploaded at that time. But please, we have a lot more things involved. We have Uneducated Star Wars talk, Uneducated Heroes talk. We have there's all kind of things going on. So please subscribe to Uneducated Network right now. Check us out to where you can see my show as well, Uneducated Sports Talk. So that being said, thank you guys who have subscribed to it. And tell your friends and families and all those people as well to subscribe as well, because we got a lot of things going on. So I appreciate that. Today, it is August 6th. It is a Sunday, and I did tell you guys on today, we will start our 32 for 32, which is 32 NFL teams in 32 days. And today, we are starting off with the Cleveland Browns. But before we get into that, we have breaking news out of the NFL. The Miami Dolphins, out of their terrible news of Ryan Tannehill being out, might have surgery on his knee. Well, they went out and looked for Jay Cutler. Yes, I did say that right, Jay Cutler. And there are reports saying that he was 50-50. Then he said, nah, I'm good. Don't worry about it, because he has a broadcasting job, I believe, with CBS. I'm not sure who it really is, but I don't know why, because I think he's a cardboard when it comes down to his desire. But maybe I could be wrong. I could prove us all wrong. But it just broke out. He is not going to broadcasting. Jay Cutler has signed a 1-year, $10 million deal to be the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. I think Gase, who was the offensive coordinator, I think he was the coach for the Bears for a while when Jay Cutler was there, and they got along pretty well. And Jay Cutler had a pretty good season, decent season with him as his head coach. But now it all brings a debate about Colin Kaepernick. Is he still being blackballed or blackballed? Now people are saying whiteballed. Yes, it is, because I do think Jay Cutler, although being a decent quarterback, his mentality, how he is about football is not up to par. You don't want that on your team. And yes, he has a nice arm and decent arm, but outside of that, he doesn't care. A lot of quarterbacks care about the game. I don't think Jay Cutler actually cares about the game. And if he does, he has a hard time of showing it, because we've all known he's had this lackluster personality. Like, it doesn't bother him that he's losing, whatever. You know, he's very talented. I do think at one point he was considered a top 5 quarterback. That is very true, 6 years ago. But now he's fallen off the wasteland. And Colin Kaepernick being overlooked. One thing about Miami, I don't think he would have gotten Miami regardless, because he did have a Fidel Castro shirt. And Miami fans did not like that, because there are a lot of Cubans in the area, so they didn't like that. So I can see why, but still, when you pick Jay Cutler, a guy that's basically said he hung it up, and you pick him over a talented, very talented Colin Kaepernick, who's a dual threat quarterback, has a cannon for an arm, and can still beat, most of these guys in the league. There's a lot of guys he is much better than in this league, but owners have basically taken a stand and saying that we're not going to have this guy on our team. We don't want it. We don't need it. We don't want the distractions. That shows me that they rather worry about their money than worry about winning. And as a fan base, if you think you can get a Colin Kaepernick and the talents that he brings, you're sort of disappointed, because you're saying, well, you guys don't want to win? Is that what it is? So we're paying our money to you guys so that we can see you guys lose. Okay, that's what it is. So Jay Cutler, he's there for 1 year, $10 million, but is he worth it? Hell to the nah. He's not worth it at all. I think Miami's going to have a struggling year this year, but we will get to them later on in life, because today is our 32 for 32 NFL teams in 32 days. This is day number 1, and we're going with the worst team from last year's NFL season, the Cleveland Browns. They were 1-15, and here we go. So they get the first overall pick. Obviously, they get Myles Garrett, defensive end from Texas A&M. He was the number 1 pick by a landslide, pretty much. But Like the day before the draft, they were saying Mitch Trubisky, maybe Myles Garrett, we don't know. And I was like, cut the crap and get Myles Garrett, please do that. And they wound up getting Myles Garrett. But that being said, they got him at number 1. Then they go ahead and get Jabril Peppers, the safety from Michigan, who's the do-it-all safety. He can return kicks, he can play strong safety, he can play linebacker, he can play free safety, all that you need. So he's very versatile. I do say this, the Cleveland Browns once again have to blow it all up and start all over from scratch. And I say once again because it's like they do it every 2 years over the last maybe 20 years now. They've been in the league since, well, the new Cleveland Browns have been there since 1999. And in that almost 20-year stretch, man, they've only had one playoff appearance, one winning record, and that is sad. That's sad for a franchise. So sad, and I feel bad for this franchise, but they are die-hard fans. They come out, the dog pound is always in full effect. They just need to start winning. Or they need to revamp. They need to revamp, in my opinion, revamp the jerseys, revamp the stadium, just revamp, man. Just, no one call it Cleveland Browns anymore. It doesn't stick with me anymore. Browns, they're just Browns. But regardless, that's another story for another day. Cleveland Browns, like I said, 1-15. They had to start over, so they focused a lot on defense. So they did get Myles Garrett. They got Jabril Peppers. And then they got David Njoku, the tight end from Miami, at number 29. So they got a lot of things going on. Then they went with a little head scratcher. They got Deshaun Kaiser in round 2, the 52nd pick overall. Deshaun Kaiser. And he, in my opinion, is not ready for the NFL level. And they understood that. But my thing is, you're not in that position to get people who aren't ready for the NFL. They're not ready. He was barely ready for college, And now you bring him into your starting rotation mix, and who knows? Because guess what? Now the starting quarterback most likely will be Brock Osweiler, who got traded from the Houston Texans after signing that big crazy contract. I want to say it was like 4 years, $72 million, something like that. He gets that. He gets traded to the Cleveland Browns for like a draft pick or two. Because guess what? They don't want him. The Texans did not want Brock Osweiler. They had the Texans. We'll talk about them later on in life, but all they need was a quarterback. They got Deshaun Watson. So now they're saying, you know what? We got something cooking over here. So you get Brock Osweiler. Now you have Cody Kessler, and then you added Deshaun Kaiser all into the quarterback mix, and it was very tight from coach's standpoint, or from around the league standpoint of who's the starting quarterback is. Now, recently we heard that it will be Brock Osweiler, who should start for week 1, but you never know. These guys, the Browns, are going to have to, like I said, start over from scratch. Their defense has got to carry them because, as I'm seeing this roster, this offense is still bad. It's still bad. Like, they don't have any explosive players at all. You get Njoku from Miami, and he's probably going to be your most explosive player on the field as a tight end. So they're going to have lots of problems this year. But they benefit from the schedule. Here's why. They play the AFC South this year, which is the Texans, which is the Jaguars, the Titans, and that's going to be as well as, I'm missing one more team, Titans, excuse me. So Texans, Jaguars, Titans, and Colts. That's the teams. 4 teams. They can win 2 of those games. They can beat the Jaguars. They can beat the Titans. You never know. But and then they benefit from the NFC North, which has the Chicago Bears team involved, which has that's pretty much the only team out. So let's go over their little schedule right fast. First game. They play at home against the Steelers. They start off against the Steelers, and that's bad news already. Steelers probably one of the best teams in the AFC. At Baltimore, at Indianapolis, versus the Bengals, versus the Jets. Then you get at the Texans, week 6. So you have Brock Osweiler facing his former team, week 6. And that's going to be very interesting. They have a lot of headlines. Hopefully the Browns won at least one of those games. They're going 0-5. It's not going to be that much to talk about, but the Brock Osweiler going back to his hometown in Houston. Well, not his hometown, but his old home team. So that'll be interesting. Week 7, they are against the Titans. At home against the Titans. Then they go to London, I presume, because it's 8:30 in the morning time. So I'm pretty sure it's in London. They're playing against the Minnesota Vikings. So they automatically lose a home game. Now, what happens when you're one of the sorriest teams in the league? When you go to London, you're going to London as the home team. So you're going to lose that crowd that you got. Because, let's just be honest, the more you do bad, the more chances you are going to London as the home team. Nobody wants that. So get ready for that. They get a bye in week 9. Week 9 is their bye week. So if you want to know that, week 9 is the bye week. I think that is kind of good for if you're a sorry team and you know that you're not going to be that good. You want your bye week to kind of be late to get a lot of game experience in, just so that you don't want it to be the 5th week and you just stop. You want that they'll play 8 games. By that time, you'll know what kind of team you got. So when that week 9 bye comes up, you can kind of relax instead of having to worry. I like that. So week 10, they're at Detroit. Then they're at home against the Jaguars, at Cincinnati, at San Diego. Then they're at home against the Packers, at home against the Ravens, and they go to the Bears, Chicago, the second to last week, and then the last week they play the Steelers. So they get their first game against the Steelers, and they get the last game of the season against the Steelers. So not a good way to start, and for sure not a good way to end, especially if you're playing at Pittsburgh. So good luck for the Cleveland Browns. I give them a record for this year. They were 1-15 last year. I say they improve by 2 games. They will go 3-13. Now, I do believe somehow they can beat the Chicago Bears. Maybe, we don't know that. Maybe they could beat a Titans team. Maybe they could beat a Jaguars team. You never know. But 3-13, which, look, for the roster that these guys have, that'll be a very big improvement. But they gotta get a quarterback. They gotta get it. And Brock Osweiler is not the answer. I can tell you guys that right now. He is basically just filling a void. Now, I really hope he has a good year. I really hope, because I think he's not a bad quarterback. He's not. He's just, I don't know, having trouble sticking with a team. He makes kind of dull decisions at times. He had a great year with the Broncos 2 years ago, but he also had a great defense behind him that made him look good. And the Texans had a great defense as well last year too. The reason why they still made it to the playoffs. They just needed a quarterback. Well, they think they have it in Deshaun Watson. We'll see. Or a Tom Savage, I don't know. But the Cleveland Browns are in desperate need of help. And the only way you get to start over, you got to focus on defense. So yes, this year they'll be bad. And then the next year, they might get a chance to get a quarterback or stick with defense. You build with defense. So right now, the Browns just want to be relevant. Can we get a 6-10 season? Can we get a 7-9 season? Can we get a 5-11 season? We're tired of 1-15s and 3-13s and 5-11s. Can we get like a 7-win season? They want to be relevant again, and it's going to take time for this team. This team needs a lot of help in a lot of areas. Their draft grade was pretty good. They had a pretty decent draft, and I'll tell you that. So Cleveland Brown fans, yes, you will have another hard-fought season this year, and it will be very devastating because I do believe you guys are going 3-13. We will find out about that. So Cleveland Browns, that is my review on your season. Good luck to the Cleveland Browns. And then tomorrow we will talk about the San Francisco 49ers. They went 2-14, so that's why they are the next team to be talked about. Had a great draft. We will talk about that tomorrow. So like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on Facebook. My name is Carlos Clayton. I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana, if that helps. Check me out on Twitter, at Carlos Clayton _. I repeat, at Carlos Clayton _. Had a fun time today. Tell me, Cleveland Brown fans, or if not fans, what record do you think the Cleveland Browns will go? Will they win more than 3 games? Prove me wrong, or will they still be just, no. Will they still be sorry? Because I can't see them winning no more than 3 games. So let me know how you feel about the Cleveland Browns. Are they still the worst team in the NFL? Let me know about that, man. So, Uneducated Network presents Uneducated Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Carlos Clayton. And as always, sports fans, you know what it is. Stay smart, stay uneducated. Peace.